Bangladesh. Well, Bangladesh is a land of children. In fact, almost half the enormous population of this country is under the age of 16. It's probably the youngest country in the world. It's one of the poorest, and it's certainly the most overcrowded. Well, in fact, nearly all the news we ever get from Bangladesh seems to be bad news of disasters, cyclones, floods, and famine. Well, it seems a long, long time since I filmed that report in Bangladesh. In fact, it's 10 years ago. I went there to look at how that unhappy part of the world had recovered from 4 years of great hardship. With war and floods, cyclones and famine, the word Bangladesh was, in the early 70s, synonymous with misery. Then there were countless appeals, and slowly the new country began to find its feet. Yet tonight, after a decade of rebuilding, the people of Bangladesh are forced to appeal to you again. At about this time last week, a huge tidal wave was making its way towards the Ganges Delta and the little mud-flat islands which were the last refuge of hundreds of thousands of landless peasants. Within hours, well over 1 million people were to lose relatives or homes, livestock or crops. Many were to lose everything. Everything, that is, except the hope that I'm now asking you to give them. It'll be some time before we know the number of people who died. For those already dead or unaccounted for, there is little or nothing we can do. It's the living who need our help so that they can start again. Their requirements are relatively simple. The cause of the disaster may have been a week ago, but the effects will continue to grow until we can get enough medicine, food, shelter, and above all, uncontaminated water to those who need it. Sadly, there are millions of Bangladeshis who've seen it all before. They can comfort the many thousands of bewildered children who've just been through an inexplicable nightmare. James Robbins is reporting developments there for BBC Television News, and he found one young girl who was a baby in her mother's arms during the disastrous floods of 1974, but whose circumstances this evening are very much worse.
Zarina Khatun is 12, one of the many orphans of last Friday's tidal wave. She has lost not only her mother and father, but also her 3 brothers and sisters. Even before this disaster, her family was among the very poorest in the world. Tonight, Zarina and thousands like her have little or no shelter. Relief work in the area is getting underway, but it will take months, probably years, to rebuild up to 100,000 homes destroyed by the sea last weekend.
Well, for Zarina and the many tens of thousands like her, the one chance of returning to what in that part of the world passes for normal life lies in the coordinating work of the Disasters Emergency Committee, the umbrella organisation responsible for channeling resources of Oxfam, the Save the Children Fund, the British Red Cross, CAFOD, that's the Catholic Fund for Overseas Development, and Christian Aid, who've been joined on this occasion by War on Want. After they've helped meet the immediate needs, the burial of the dead and the caring for the survivors, the 6 charities will concentrate on the major task of rehabilitation in an effort to try and reap whatever harvest the farmers can muster there this year. Time is the enemy, and the money you donate will be saving people within days, not weeks or months. Money won't give Zarina back her family, but she can be given shelter, food and inoculations, and help to secure some kind of future. No one realizes this more than the country's leader, President Ershad.
We must be able to rehabilitate them in the same area where they were located before. And we are trying our best with our limited resources. And I'm very happy to say that the world community has responded very well, and many friendly countries have come forward with assistance.
President Ershad. The people whose lives were devastated by the events of last weekend don't know what tomorrow will bring, or even if they will have a tomorrow. They live with often smiling resilience in their beautiful but tragic country. And in a week when nearer home we've seen the horrors that men can inflict upon each other, it's perhaps easy to forget the events of last Saturday, when nature reminded us of just how frail we all are. Please help by giving whatever money you can spare to the Bangladesh Cyclone Appeal. You can make a donation at your local post office or bank. You can pay by post with a cheque or postal order to the address which will follow. To make every pound count, if you want a receipt, please send a stamped addressed envelope with your donation. Send your donation to me, John Craven, Bangladesh Cyclone Appeal, P.O. Box 999, London EC 4M 8DD. That's the Bangladesh Cyclone Appeal, P.O. Box 999, London EC 4M 8DD. A credit card if you phone this number now, 01811 8055. And the lines are open until midnight.